Hello and welcome to Crocker Realty. Thanks so much for joining our brokerage. My name is James Crocker. In this first video, I'm going to go through how to set up your database, how and where to order business cards, how to upload your contacts into your database, which database you should use, some of our marketing tasks that we use here at Crocker Realty to make sure that we stay top of mind with our potential clients and our past clients, and how to group people in your database. The first thing that I want to talk about before we get into that is our paperless, or excuse me, I shouldn't say paperless, is our compliance system. This is where you're going to upload all of your contracts, whether you're doing a listing agreement or a buyer agreement or a contract to buy and sell real estate. You're going to be uploading all of your documents into this system. When you upload these, our compliance person is going to be able to review the documents at that point. In order to do that, our system is called Paperless Pipeline. You're going to log into the system. You'll have login information and password emailed to you. If you haven't received that yet, please get in contact with your office administrator, and that person will be able to help you obtain that information if you don't have it already. When you log in, you're going to be at your dashboard, and it looks like this. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of this. We're going to go into more detail on this later on, but I just kind of want to show you guys a couple of things real quick because you're going to need to access some of the information through this portal. When you begin a new transaction, you're not going to have a transaction address to upload documents into. And what I mean by that is if you go up here in your account to the transactions tab, and I want you guys to go ahead and log into your account and go through this as I'm talking about it so you can kind of follow along. If you click on this tab here, you're going to see a bunch of addresses, assuming you have transactions. As a new agent, it's going to be blank. You're not going to have anything. In my case, I have a bunch of addresses and I have transactions created. So if I open up this transaction, for example, on the left side here, you can see this is a listing. And all of the documents that are associated with this listing that are required are over here on the left-hand side. You can see the ones that have been checked off. These have already been received and reviewed by compliance. The ones that aren't checked are the documents that are still needed for this transaction. And you can see the documents that have been uploaded right here for this transaction. Once a transaction is created to upload documents, you go right here to this Upload Docs area, and that will allow you to upload documents directly into that transaction. You cannot create a transaction yourself. So what that means is you are going to be at the dashboard right here. You just click on this little speedometer, and you will actually upload docs here. So if you do a listing agreement, for example, you'll just upload the listing agreement or the buyer agreement into this area. It's just going to go into a holding area, and then the administrator at your office is going to create a transaction for that property, and then you will actually have it show up on here, and from that point you can go in there and actually upload documents directly into that property. The other important part of this program or of this piece of software that we use is our reference documents area. So if you click on the reference documents area, you're going to see lots and lots of links. I'm going to go ahead and minimize all of these out. The interesting thing about this system is, shouldn't have done that. The interesting thing about this system is after you use it, if you don't minimize these, it always keeps these open. You can see there's a lot of documents in here. Your listing presentation is in here. All of our scripts are in here. All of our action plans are in here. Pretty much anything that you can imagine. As a new agent, all of our bootcamp training videos are going to be in here. And obviously you're going to want to go through these in order. So right now, of course, you're watching number 1. Number 2 is going to be right here. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize these out just so it doesn't look quite so convoluted to you guys. I'm used to looking at it so it doesn't look quite so crazy to me. I've broken this down into sections, and there probably will be some sections added, subtracted, and modified from the time this video has been created to the time that you actually watch it. But for the most part, this is going to be the general outline. As a new agent, the first thing that you're going to need to do is activate your MLS account and activate your license with whatever state you're in. And that information to do that is going to be in your new agent documents area or in your new agent links area. So if I open both those up, these are all documents, and we're here in Colorado with these documents here. So if you're in California or another state, yours are going to look a little bit different than this. But these are all the documents that you will need when you first join. Some of these may have been given to you by your office administrator when you signed up, or your managing broker, and some of them may be things that you need to download. In order to know what you need, all you need to do is go into this new agent links area, right here to the new agent checklist. If you click on that, what it's going to do is it's going to open it up, and you can actually preview it here. You can see all these tasks that are associated. And again, this is for Colorado. Yours is going to look a little bit different if you're in a different state. If you open this document right here, you can click that and you can actually download it, print it out. All of the links for everything that you need are going to be on here. So, for example, one of the first tasks that you have here is to obtain errors and omissions insurance. There's the website that you go to for that. All of these links that are on this document are also going to be right here where it says New Agent Link. So I got that document in New Agent Documents where it says New Agent Checklist. That's where that one came from. All those links that are on that document are right here. If you click on any of these, it'll automatically take you to where you need to go. So, for example, one of the activities on here is to activate a new MLS account. If you click on that, it's just going to open it right up. This is the Denver MLS. You're going to be able to go in here and create that. If you're in another market center, it'll be a different link. It'll go to where you need to go. You're going to need to activate your license with the state of Colorado if you're in Colorado, for example. In order to do that, there's a link for that as well. And if you go right here, verify license has been transferred. This is where you're going to go in there and create an account and activate your license or transfer your license. This is the area where you're going to do that. So this is a quick overview of Paperless Pipeline, our contracts management system. When you're in here and you're looking for something specific, if you go to this little quick search area and just type in a search, anything that contains the words or letters in that search is going to show up. So for example, if I type in for sale by owner, which is FSBO, and do a search, there's actually only one result, and that's a script. There's a script for that. Okay. If I do a search for MLS, anything with MLS in the title is going to show up. So you can see there's 4 categories here. I can open each one of those up, and you'll notice that everything that shows up has MLS in there. If you just hit these plus and minus signs, it basically opens and closes each individual category. Okay, so if I was, for example, transferring my MLS access over from another brokerage to Crocker Realty, I would go right here, transfer MLS listings, and it's going to take me right to where I need to go in order to do that. This is a quick overview of Paperless Pipeline. The reason I started with this is there's going to be some things that we cover in the rest of this video and the rest of our training that are going to reference this piece of software, so you're going to need to know the basics on how to use it. The next thing I want to go over with you is the database. The database is the heart of your business. If you do not have a database, you don't have a business. I don't really care what kind of business you're in, whether it's real estate, a mortgage broker, you own a Best Buy, it doesn't matter. Your database is the heart of your business. If you don't have a database and you don't manage it properly, your business is going to suffer greatly because of that. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is set up your database, and I'm going to go over how to do that. You can use whichever database management system you want. It's your decision. It's your business. You can use whatever system you want. LionDesk is the system that I recommend. And the reason for that is because, number one, it's only $25 a month. There are database management systems out there that I've personally used that cost 5 to 10 times this much that don't do what this system does. The first month, as of October 2016, the first month of this is free. So they don't even charge you for the first month, so you can kind of get a feel for it. The things that you can do with this database are amazing. You can manage all of your transactions. You can manage all of your contacts. You can manage all of your marketing, emails, texts, everything that you can imagine is all integrated into this database. And for $25 a month, you can't beat it. If you choose to use a different database, you will not have access to all of the Crocker Realty action plans. And you are certainly entitled to use whatever database you want. But if you use LionDesk, you will be integrated with the Crocker Realty action plans, which means anytime you have a new lead that falls into a particular category, you're going to be able to go in there and assign an action plan to them to stay in contact with them and to follow up with them aggressively. I've created all of these myself. It's taken a lot of time. I want to show you something. If I go back to Paperless Pipeline, and I just open up this reference docs area again, let me just minimize these out. There's an area where it says action plans. These action plans are virtually the same action plans that are in LionDesk. So we have post-closing buyer, post-closing seller, new buyer action plan, buyer pending, new listing, pending listing. So for example, the new listing action plan, if I open that up, you'll be able to see the activities associated with that. The cool thing about LionDesk is for any activity on that action plan that you may not understand, I've created a video for it, and the link to the video is right there in the checklist. So that's going to enable you to go through and learn things very quickly. So if you're a new agent, you're not established, even if you're an experienced agent, I would highly recommend looking into this system because it's amazing. So I want to just give you a quick overview of how the system works, and then we'll talk about how to set a few things up in here to get you started. You really need to make sure that you separate certain groups in your database so that you can market to people in different ways. Okay, so number one is I'm going to go over the properties section. So properties, this is where you would manage an actual transaction. If you have a new listing or if you have a buyer that goes under contract, this is where you're going to put them. You're going to go in here. You're going to go to, it's down here at the bottom here. You're going to go down to add new property. You're going to type in whatever information you want. Really, all you really have to have is the address. And then here it's going to ask you to auto-populate the name of the contact. So if you start typing in a name, it's going to bring up all the people in your database that have names that begin with whatever you've typed in. I'm going to assume that we've already entered the address and everything in there. And this is a dummy example right here. What I've done with this person, I entered them in and I added a transaction plan to them. And that transaction plan was, in this scenario, the Crocker Realty New Listing Action Plan. Anything on your list as you start LionDesk, and you may not have the Crocker Realty action plans right away. Usually it takes about 4 or 5 days for those to show up in your account. And that's not going to matter because you're probably not going to have a listing on day one anyway, so just be patient with it. Anything in your account that does not say Crocker Realty, just delete it. You can delete it out of there. All you have to do is go up to the top here, and I would probably do that right now, where it says Transaction Follow-Up Plans. Anything that doesn't begin with Crocker Realty, you're just going to remove it. Just click remove and it's going to take it away. It's going to disappear off your list. That way when you go in here and add a transaction plan to a property, you're not seeing all this junk. All you're seeing is the things that you're actually going to use. And you can modify these however you see fit. These are what I personally use, and I've been very successful with them. So anyway, once you've added an action plan, if you click here in this area, what's going to happen is it's going to show you all the activities associated with that action plan. So this is a new listing action plan. This is everything that I personally do and that I recommend that you do with a new listing. Okay. Like this first example here, and again, this is for Colorado, so if you're in a different state, these may look slightly different. This first item here is to ensure all contracts are signed and uploaded into Crocker Realty's contract system, which is what I just went over with Paperless Pipeline. If you don't know how to do that, all you got to do is copy this link right here. So just highlight it, copy it, and paste it into a new browser. I'll just show you real quick what that would look like. It's pretty self-explanatory if you're computer savvy. And it's actually going to bring up a video and it's going to explain how to do that. And that's true for every single task that's on this list that you may not understand. So as I go back into this list, there's a lot of items on here that you may not understand. Once you've completed that task, just check it off and it disappears off your list. And it'll actually, if you go down to the bottom, you can see the tasks that have been completed for this particular property. Now, when you assign one of these action plans, one of these property action plans, some of these activities are due on day 1, some of them are due on day 3, some of them are due on day 5. You can go down this list, you can look at your future activities and you can do those. However, what this does actually is this automatically takes all of these tasks and it puts them into this section right here called tasks. Go figure. So if you open up the tasks tab, this is going to show all of your tasks. If you have this current area highlighted, it's going to show you all your tasks that are due today. So today, in my world, it's October 12th, 2016. It's going to show you all the tasks that are due today, okay? If you have some that you maybe haven't gotten done and you click on this one, it's going to show you all of your overdue tasks. You can see I have some on here from a previous date. These are just dummy examples, so it doesn't matter. So you can go look at your overdue tasks and you can look at your upcoming tasks. So as I mentioned previously with that new listing action plan, if you go to your current tasks and just do what you need to do for the day and just check off everything off that list by clicking this checkbox as you go through them, eventually you're going to get through all the tasks. You're going to have nothing else to do, and then you're done with your task list for the day. You can look at your upcoming tasks. So on that new listing checklist that I just showed you, any tasks that is coming up in the future, it's going to show up on here. So you can work ahead in certain circumstances depending on what you're working on. That's the property portion of it. The marketing portion is our follow-up systems. It's extremely important to follow up with people. Follow-up is the key to this business. If you don't follow up with people, you're not going to generate a lot of business. You have to stay in contact with people that have told you they're going to be in the market to buy or sell a house. within the next couple years. There's all kinds of plans in here. I would recommend leaving all of these. So even the Lion Desk property plans, people action plans, I would leave these here. Don't take those off because some of these action plans are associated with those. All of the Crocker Realty action plans are action plans that I've created. So as an example, real quick, if you get someone that owns their house that says they're looking and selling in less than 6 months, there's an action plan for that. You're just going to assign that action plan to that particular client. I'll show you how to do that in a second. If you want to see what this looks like, you just click on the tasks here and you can see all of the tasks associated with that. So on day 1, you're going to do this activity. On day 2, 4 days later, you're going to do this. 21 days later, you're going to do this activity. You see there's a video for this because it's something that you're going to need to figure out. I made videos on this side of it too. 35 days later, you're going to friend them on Facebook. 40 days later, you're going to send them a guide to selling your home. There's all these activities that are going to just be, and you're going to get reminded as they come up. So, for example, this task right here occurs 21 days after you assign it to the contact. Okay? So it's not going to show up on your task list that I was just showing you for 21 days. So on that day, day 21, it's going to show up. You can set callbacks to call back people on specific dates. If you talk to a guy that says he wants to sit down with you in March, you might call him back in the middle of February. You can set a reminder to call the guy back. So in order to assign a marketing plan to a contact, you just click on the Contacts tab here, and all of your contacts are going to appear. Okay. And all you'll do is you'll just go to Actions, and then Add to Drip Campaign, and that's where you can go ahead and assign them to action plans. It's really easy to do. I'm not going to go into too much more detail on this system. If you guys want to learn more detail, go to the online help area right here, and you can watch videos and read all about it, and you can learn this thing inside and out. It's going to be redundant for me to do this because the company that created this system, which is Lion Desk, is going to be a lot better explaining how to use the system than what I am. But I wanted to illustrate a couple of things that you can do with this system, and I also wanted to illustrate the fact that I've created a lot of action plans that you're going to be able to use in your business because your system will be integrated with mine. What that means is you can. I don't see your contacts that are in your account. I don't see yours. You don't see mine. But you will get access to all of my action plans, and you'll be able to modify those and use those as you see fit in your business. Now, getting contacts into your database is very important. You should be putting at least 3 people in your database every single day. You should be speaking with enough people that every day you're adding at least 3 people into your database. Ideally, when you add someone to your database, you want their name, address, email address, and phone number. So you want those 4 pieces of contact information: their name, address, email address, and phone number. That's what you want to have on everyone that you put in your database. There will be situations where you don't have all of that information, but you want to always try to get all 4 of those pieces of information because you're going to be able to market to your potential clients and to people in your sphere more effectively. So to add a contact is very simple. Just go to the Contacts tab, which I'm already on. I'm going to click on it again just so it starts back over. Right here it says Add New Contact. Sometimes this system is a little slow loading, so just be patient. Sometimes they're doing maintenance on the system and things like that. Go to Add New Contact. First name, last name, email address, blah, 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 blah. I will say this. When you put, this may sound weird to you guys, but when you put their information in there, let's say it's Bill and Mary Johnson. You want to, if you have Bill's email address, and that's who you're putting in here, you want to enter their name like this. So you can see that I put and Mary Johnson on the last name. And the reason for that is when you send out emails to a mass audience, in other words, maybe 1,000 people all at one time, you can auto-populate. So it says, "Hi, Bill. This is James, blah, 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 blah," right? If you put Bill and Mary here, it's going to say, "Hi, Bill and Mary." When this is Bill's account, you want it to just say Bill. That's how I personally believe it should work. And then when you export these people out to like mail things to them, it's going to automatically combine these 2 fields. So it all looks like one anyway. So this is how I would recommend entering them in. You will also see that in this area you have an area for the spouse. I do not recommend putting the spouse's information in here. I recommend if you, for example, are putting Bill and Mary Johnson into your database and you have all of the contact information for both of those people, what I would like you to do is create a separate contact for Mary Johnson. So one of these is going to say Bill and Mary Johnson, and it's going to have their home address. It's going to have Bill's email address in this case because he's the one we have. If you had Mary's email address and not Bill's email address, you'd put Mary here and then you'd put Ann Bill Johnson on the second part. This is for mailing. There's a reason I do it this way. It's for mailing purposes. So Bill and Mary Johnson, email address, mobile number. Always put the number in the mobile number area because you can send out mass text via this system. And if you put it in the home number area, it won't let you do that. The text won't go out to them. It'll only go out to the mobile numbers. You're going to add the address. So let's assume we have Bill's email address and phone number. You're going to have this information here. You're going to add the address. You're going to put it, you're going to assign them to a list. We'll talk about that in a minute. This is where you can assign them to lists. And you can tag them as well. You're going to want to tag them as well. You're only going to want to put the address under Bill and Mary Johnson. When you create a contact for Mary Johnson, all you're going to want for her is her email and phone number. Do not put the address on hers. Otherwise, if you send out a postcard, they're both going to get one when you only really need to send one to them. But what it'll do is by creating two separate contacts, if you have all of their contact info, say, for example, you send out a mass marketing email, they're both going to get it separately in their own inboxes. If you call through your sphere of influence, you're going to be able to call them both separately and talk to them about whether or not they know somebody that might be thinking about buying or selling a house. So that's the reason I would like you to separate them out, because you're going to be able to make more contact with the individual person rather than lumping them all into one category. Because if you're dealing with a husband and wife, you're dealing with two people, not just one. I mean, one of them might be a social butterfly, and the other one might not go out much. You want to be able to connect with both of those people when you're asking for referrals and just checking in to see how they're doing. So again, that's when you're entering these people in, always put if it's a husband and wife, always put both names and put the name here by itself with whoever's email and phone number you have. In this contact information, make sure you have the address. And then the secondary contact, you're just going to put Mary Johnson and then have her phone number and email address. I hope that makes sense. So what you're going to do first, you guys, write this down. Everybody in your cell phone, everybody in your spouse's cell phone, everybody that you know on Facebook, everybody's email that you have in your email account, every single person that you know that you have contact information for right now, put them in your database, every single one of them. This is going to take you a while, okay? It might take you 20 hours depending on how many people you know. If you're new to Denver or new to your area, congratulations, you don't have to do this part. But if you aren't new and you know people where you live, I don't care if it's 5 people or 500, you need to enter every single one of them into your database, because in real estate, your sphere of influence is going to bring you a lot of business if you work it right. And if you don't have a way to communicate with them and stay in contact, you're really missing out on a big opportunity to gain business and to take good care of your friends and family. So you're going to go in there and add them in one by one. Now, I want to show you guys a trick. Whether or not you choose to do this is up to you. This is your business. You can run it however you want. This is what I would recommend doing. This is kind of a convoluted process, so bear with me. If you have a Facebook account, you can export your contacts out of Facebook into another account and basically get everybody's email address by doing that. I want to show you how to do that. What you're going to do is you're going to create a fake Yahoo account. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the process. So I'm going to do a fake Yahoo account. So I'm going to, it doesn't matter. If you have a real Yahoo account, don't even use it for this. Just use a fake one, okay? Because this is only going to pull your Facebook contacts. So James Smith, blah, 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 at yahoo.com. Mobile phone number. Make sure that you put a birthday of at least, so it appears as though you're at least 21 years old. Or I think maybe it's 18 years old. Either way. Okay. Oops, forgot to put the password. Okay, now it's going to text you your little code here. And then you're going to enter it in. And as soon as you click that button, it's going to automatically log you in. And you can see up here the page is still loading. You're going to go to Mail. And it should open up this box that asks you if you want to import your Facebook contacts. Okay, maybe I haven't gotten there yet. Go right up here to this little man. And again, this is the contact section. Yahoo may have changed their format since this video was created, so just find the contacts area. It should be there regardless of which version of Yahoo you're using. Now, it's going to ask you if you want to import your contacts. You can import from any or all of these sources. It's up to you how you want to do it. I'm just strictly showing you how to do Facebook, but you can import from your Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo, whatever you want. So at Facebook, I'm going to go import. It's going to ask me what my login information is. You're going to have to type in your Facebook login information. I'm already logged into Facebook, so it might actually just do it automatically. But if it doesn't, just log in as it prompts you to do so. Okay. Now I'm gonna. It looks like it's done. It's got the, so it's see it now. I have 652 contacts. Okay, so they're there. If I go back over here and click on the contacts, now I have all of these people. I'm gonna go in and enter every single one of these people into LionDesk one by one, name and email address. Okay, you're not gonna know their home address. You're not gonna know their phone number. It's not gonna pull that information from Facebook. It's just name and email address. As you go through and put each individual person in, what you're going to do is see if you can find their address and see if you can find their phone number. If you're going to do this, if you're going to go through the trouble of doing this, see, for me, I have 652 contacts. It's going to take me a long time to go through all those people. The good thing for me is when I started real estate, I only had about 200 people on Facebook. It was a lot faster for me to go through this process. But I went through and entered every single one of them in. So I would recommend doing this first. And then as you're going through your phone and whatnot, maybe go through your phone at the same time and see if you have the phone numbers for these people. But this is the reason you want to do this is it's a good way to get email addresses. If you look at this list here, I've got all these email addresses. I would not know some of these had I not done this. These are the email addresses they use for their Facebook account, okay? There's tons of them in here. So if all you have is their name and email address and you don't have their phone number, what you can do is see if they own a house. So, assuming you have MLS access at this point, if you don't, then don't worry about it. It's fine. You'll have a nice list of emails to market to. Assuming you have MLS access, you're going to have access to the tax records. So you can look these people up on the tax records. So this particular person, let's say Emily Alford, I don't even think I know who she is, to be quite honest. I think we all have random friends on Facebook that we never talk to. Right now I'm logging into the MLS and I'm just going to show you real quick in the Denver MLS how to pull information. Some of you guys may already know how to do this. If you do, then you can skip this part. Just go into Realist and search their name. If it's Bill Smith, don't even bother because there's a million Bill Smiths. But if like Emily Alford, there's not a lot of these people out there with that name. So that's definitely one you want to search for and try to find their home address. And then when you go enter them into LionDesk, into your database, which is this, then you're going to be able to put in an address for them as well. You can also find out their spouse's name when you do this. And you can maybe friend their spouse on Facebook as well. This is going to be probably the most tedious thing that you do in real estate. It's just a major pain. But once you get through it, it's done and you can market to these people. Okay? All right, so I'm going to look up Emily Alford and see if I could find her. She may not even live in Colorado. Okay, I got nothing. Let me look up another one here just to see if I can find somebody. Here, let me do this person. Paula Alva. I know she's in here because I helped them sell their house. So there they are, Paula and Aaron Alva. There's one of them. Really good chance this is the right person. So when you go and enter Paula Alva, and all I have, is her name. I don't even have her email address. So I have her name, and then now I have her home address. So if I open this up, you can see that I have the home address for that person. So you're going to want to go through and get as much contact info for each person as you can. Put them all into your database. This is going to take you a long time. All right. So as you're entering the contacts into the database, you're going to want to group them in specific ways. And I'm going to go through how to do that. So let's assume that I'm entering a new contact. First name, last name, phone number. Always put their phone number. Even if it's a home number, still put it in the mobile category, because you can send out mass texts, and if it's a home number, it's just going to bounce back. It's not going to go to them. But if you put their mobile number here, they're not even going to get the text. It's not going to send it out. Okay. Another thing to keep in mind is on Facebook, if you're friends with somebody, you can find their birthday on Facebook. I'll show you where that is real quick. Here we go. I got a new friend. Let's see who my new friend is. I have no idea who this person is. Or yeah, I do. I just didn't recognize the name. Anyway, let's look at this person here. I'll show you where to find the birthday. So I open up my friend, my new friend. I click About, the About tab right here. And there's the birthday. So as you're importing these people into your database, make sure you're looking up their birthdays on Facebook as well. I send out birthday cards to everyone. It's a really good way to market to people. So using LionDesk, you can send out birthday cards. So anyway, you're going to put in all their information. You're going to put in their address. When you're adding an address, one other thing I want to mention, make sure that you click this to set as the primary address, assuming that they live there. You are going to put them into a contact list. Okay. Below this video, there is a document that outlines and shows you all the different contact lists that you're going to need to enter into your database. I'm not going to go through here and create all of them, but you need to go through and create all of them. And I'm going to go through that list with you real quick so you can see what it looks like. But you need to go through and create all these lists before you start putting people into your database. Okay. And any list that you have, you're also going to want to shadow it with a tag. So, for example, if the list was A Group Homeowners, you're also going to create a tag called A Group Homeowners. And when you enter a contact into your database and you go to put them in a particular group, you're going to tag them as A Group Homeowners and you're going to put them in the A Group Homeowners contact list. I'm not going to go into why you want to do that right now, but it's going to be beneficial later on as you start to build a team, and it only takes a second to tag them. I mean, literally, you just click the button twice, you're done, okay? So the tags and lists will not be created right off the bat. So what you need to do is create those. So in order to create a contact list, you go to the Marketing tab right here. Go up here to the top where it says Contact List. The reason that you have to create a contact list to group people into is so you can, number one, separate your database into different categories so that you can market to people in different ways. But number two, it's also so you can send out mass emails and mass texts to specific lists. You can't do mass marketing unless they are in a contact list, so they have to be in that list in order to do that. You can see my list here. So I have A Group Homeowners, A Group Potential Buyers, Absentee Owners. I have a bunch of extra lists that you probably won't have. When you go to create a new contact list, all you're going to do is right here at the top, you do click Create New List. Let's say Happy Clients. I'm just using this as an example. You do have to write some kind of description, okay? And then change this reminder to 0. You don't really want a reminder on that, and then save it, okay? And then it's going to appear. You're going to do that for all of the contact lists that are on the sheet I'm about to show you. And then you're also going to do it for tags. So in order to you have to create those tags. You're going to go to, hold on. I don't know why I always forget this. It's Settings. And then down at the bottom of Settings, right here, whoops, it's kind of lagging on me a little bit. Excuse me, guys. Down here where it says your saved tags, you're going to scroll to the very bottom of that list and you're going to go to New Tag and you're just going to name it A Group Homeowners, okay, or in this case, Happy Clients. So again, below this YouTube video, there's going to be a link. It says Contact Lists. Go ahead and download that link. Click that link to download the document, and you'll be able to see what contact lists that you need to create. So it's going to be right here at the bottom of the YouTube video. Just click on that, and what that's going to do is it's just going to open up that list right there. You can print it out. I would print this out and put it on your wall. I want to go through what these different lists are. They're described here. There's a description after each one, and when you enter them into LionDesk, you're going to go ahead and just type out the description so that you know. So A Group Homeowners are people that own their houses that love you a lot. They're your best friends. They're your past clients. They're people that you're close to. Your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister. You know, that's the A Group Homeowner category. The B Group Homeowner category would be people that you're acquainted with, but you're not really best buddies with. They probably know you, or you've met them in person at some point in time, but you're not necessarily best friends. Seller leads are leads that have signed up on your website or contacted you in some way, but you've never actually spoken to them in your life. You just haven't gotten a hold of them yet, or you don't know who they are, or whatever. So that would be a seller lead. A seller nurture is someone that has told you they're looking to move, and then they own their house and they're looking to move within the next 2 years. Now, seller nurtures and B Group homeowners can be very similar, but the reason I segment these out is because we're going to call through the B Group homeowners on a quarterly basis. And if you just, let's say it's October 1st and you're going to call through your B Group homeowners, and you just spoke to somebody 2 weeks prior that says they're looking to sell their house in March, you don't want to call them again like 3 days later or a week later. You want to call them in March or February for that matter. So you want to separate them in a different category. And when you go to make calls, you're not going to call the seller nurture category. You're going to leave those people alone, and you're going to call them at whatever time you've put the follow-up call in your database to call them back with. You could, if you wanted to, you could consolidate these two categories and eliminate the seller nurture category. But if you do that, just remember that as you go in and call quarterly, you may be calling somebody that you've spoken with fairly recently, and that could be a conflict. So it's really up to you. You can combine those two lists if you want and just call them B group homeowners. Seller mass email marketing is the next list. This would be people that have specifically told you, I'm not moving in the next 2 years. I'm staying here till I die. I'm living here for 5 years. But you get their email address, so you can stay in contact with them via email. With this group of individuals, I send them an email twice a month, just like I do everybody else. Everybody in my list gets 2 emails a month, regardless of what category they're in. They tell me that they're looking to move 5 years from now or 6 years from now, or they're living there till they're dying. I call through this entire list every single year, once a year. You might end up with 3,000 people in there. Once a year you call through them, because obviously you've been sending them 2 emails a month. Anyone who hasn't unsubscribed from your list is seeing your name and seeing your emails. They have some familiarity with you, but you're not spending money to market to them. Those emails are virtually free. You're not sending these people postcards. You're not sending them mailings, and you're not calling them quarterly. You're calling them once a year. You guys don't hesitate to write this information down so you don't forget. Don't call these people quarterly because they've already told you they're not moving, right? I would call them once a year because people's circumstances change. So these are people that you're not spending money on, but you're able to stay top of mind with because you're sending them emails and you're calling them once a year to see if their situation has changed. The seller referral commitment is someone who owns their house that has said, hey, yes, I'll send you referrals. Now, I separate these people out in a different category in this video, but you could combine them with your A group homeowners if you wanted to. You know that your A group homeowners, they're your best buddies, they're your friends, your family, your past clients. You already know they're going to send you referrals. So a seller referral commitment and A group homeowner is kind of the same thing. You could combine those two categories as well. I keep them separate because the seller referral commitment may be someone that I don't even know that well. One of the questions I recommend asking people is, if you came across somebody that was looking to buy or sell a home, who would you recommend to them? And if they say me, I say, well, who do you know that's looking to buy or sell a home? And they, most of the time they'll say nobody, but sometimes they actually do know someone. And then my next question is, would you mind if I checked in with you every 3 or 4 months to see if you might know of anybody that's in the market? But the reason I have a separate category is because these people aren't always my best friends. I may have never met them in my life, so I like to kind of segment that off. I absolutely do send these people mail because they're kind of starting to build a relationship with me. The buyers are the same. So there's just one minor difference. So the buyers, you have the A group potential buyers. These are people that are obviously renting their house that may look to buy at some point. And these are your best buddies, the A group. The B group are people that are potential buyers. You've met them in person. Maybe they told you that they're going to be buying a house in a couple of years. These are people that you're acquainted with, that you've either met in person, that you know fairly well. Buyer leads are people that are potential buyers that you've never met. You've never talked to them. They've signed up on your website or they've come to you through Zillow. You've never had a conversation with them. So in essence, when you speak with a buyer lead and they say, yeah, I'm 6 months out. I'm not looking to move now. I'm not ready yet. What you're going to do is you're going to call through your buyer leads once per month just to check in with them. I always leave people in that category, even if it's someone that's told me they're looking to move in a few months. I just call them once a month to check in because a lot of times people's circumstances change or their time frame moves up. But generally speaking, these are people that you've never spoken with that have signed up on your website or something of that nature. Buyer nurtures, these are specifically people that have said, I'm looking to buy a house within the next 2 years. So again, the reason I separate these from the potential buyers is because I'm going to call them quarterly, and I may have just spoken to one of these people like 2 days before I do my quarterly phone calls. That's why I separate them. You could combine these two categories if you choose and just make it all B group potential buyers. The same is true for buyer leads. If you talk to a buyer lead and they say, I'm looking to buy a house in 2 months, you could go ahead and change them from this list to either the buyer nurture or the B group potential buyers, depending on how you want to do it. None of this stuff is set in stone. This is just a general guideline, but there's a reason that I do it this way, and I'll go into more detail on this here in a minute. A buyer referral commitment, again, this is just like the seller referral commitment. It's someone that is renting their home or looking to buy that has told you that I will refer you business. And there will be some contacts that you put in your database, maybe from your Facebook account or whatever. You don't really know if they own their house or not. And those people I usually just put in a miscellaneous category. I don't know if they own their house. I don't know if they are buyers. I have no idea what their situation is. So you're going to market to these people in different ways. The buyer side, I don't send any of these people anything in the mail. The only time I send mailings to my buyer side is I send out Broncos calendars and I send out Rockies calendars. They're magnetic calendars that go on the refrigerator. And when that time comes each year, I send you guys an email, and I'll go over when, I'll remind you when to send them out and how to order them and so forth. I've got a video on that. I don't spend money mailing things to buyers except for those Broncos calendars and Rockies calendars, because you don't really want to spend a lot of money generating buyers. You want to focus on spending money on listings if you're going to do that, with the exception of driving traffic to your website. That would be the only exception to that rule, in my opinion. Again, this is your business. If you want to mail your buyers, you can. The reason that up here, for example, that I have the seller mass email marketing is because I'm not going to mail these people. So when you go out to mail people each month, you're going to go A group homeowners, B group. You're going to mail it to the same thing to the A group homeowners, B group homeowners, seller leads and seller nurtures, and the seller referral commitment. But the seller mass email marketing isn't going to get anything. Okay. The reason that for mailing purposes, these people could all be in the same category with the exception of this one. But the reason they're separated is when you call them, you're going to speak to them in a different way. Your A group homeowners, when you call them, you can speak to them. They're your best friends. You're going to have a different type of conversation with them than you will with the B group homeowners. So you're going to call these lists separately. Like the seller leads, you might try to make contact with somebody. You might have 10 or 15 of these people. You can't get a hold of them. And then you just call through them like once a month. Okay? As your business grows, you might have 40 or 50 of them that you can't get a hold of. And at the end of each month, you just blast through all of them. All right? So anyway, that's kind of a general guideline of how to set up your database. I could probably go on all night about this. So you're going to create all those contact lists. You're going to create a tag as well. So again, to create a tag, it's in the settings area, which is down a little bit farther. Go to the settings area and create a contact list. It's in the marketing area, which is up here. So when you go to add a contact, for example, let's say we're adding a contact and it's an A group homeowner. I'm going to click on add new contact. Whoops. It's going to open them up. And then after I put in their information, I'm going to tag them as A group homeowner, which will be on this list. And then contact list, A group homeowners. You're going to have in both categories. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is your marketing tasks. As I'm going through this, I want you guys to go through and enter every single one of these things into your database. These are going to be tasks that you're reminded of at specific intervals. The first of each month, you're going to mail out a postcard. Okay? That's number one. And the postcard they mail out can be whatever you want, but I will let you know that on the 28th or 29th of each month, I'm going to send you a template that you can use. And a lot of times it's the same one. I usually send out the same one every month because marketing isn't always about the message. It's about the frequency of the message. The more they see your face, the more they get from you, the more they hear from you, the more they're going to remember you. I send out a template for you. You can use that. You just substitute your information at the end of the month with my postcard, and you're good to go. That will always be something that you're receiving as a Crocker Realty agent from your market center. So you're going to go to the tasks area right here, and you're going to start adding tasks. All right. So yours should be blank. You shouldn't have anything on here at this point. New task. Mail out postcards. You can do a newsletter too. They're just more expensive. You can mail out whatever you want. Just mail them out something once a month. And again, this is only going to go to your seller. So you might even put a note in here. Mail out to sellers only, excluding the seller mass email marketing list. You might want to go ahead and type that out. You can assign this to a team member. If you're a solo agent, which you probably are, then you're going to just, you can leave that alone. You're not going to make it public. The specific date, you're going to do the first of the next month that's coming up. So right now we're at October 12th. I'm going to put this at November 1st, 9 a.m. You can have it remind you. It'll send you an email or it'll call your phone or text you to remind you to do the activity. If you don't select anything, it's just going to show up on your task list for that day. And you can also associate it with a contact. In this case, it's not associated with any particular contact, so I'm not going to put anything in that category. So I'm going to save it. When you get to November 1st and you do that task, after you've completed it, you're going to create it. You're going to postpone it to December 1st, so you can do it the following month. So to postpone a task, like let's assume that this task right here was November 1st and it was mailing out the postcards. You're going to go over here to this pencil. You can leave all this top alone, and all you got to do is just change the date from November 1st if that's what you're on. Just change it to December 1st. You don't have to go retype this thing out every time. You could just do your task and then postpone it to the next month. So that's number one. We're going to send out a mailing to our homeowners at the beginning of each month. Okay. We're also going to send an email to our entire database, both our buyers and our sellers, at the beginning of each month and on the 15th of each month. So I want you to create a task for the 1st of the following month. Send out mass email. And then put whatever you want in here, just to remind yourself. Go ahead and pick the day. So you're going to pick November 1st. Save it. Okay. You're going to do it again, and you're going to create another one. So go to Add New Task, and you're going to do one for the 15th. And again, on the 1st, when you send out your email, go ahead and postpone it for the next month on the 1st. And the same is true for the 15th. For the one you send on the 15th, it's going to be the same thing. You create a new task, send out mass emails, what you're going to type in here, and you're going to put this for like the 15th, right? And then when you get to the 15th, you're going to postpone it for the next month after you do the activity. So we're sending out one mailing a month, 2 emails a month. We're also going to send out Broncos calendars, okay? Now, I'm going to send you an email, most likely, if I'm still doing this, in the future, but you should get an email from Crocker Realty saying, hey, now's the time to mail out your Broncos calendars or your Raiders calendars or whatever market you're in. I'm in Denver as of the making this video, so I use the word Broncos, but depending on what city you're in, obviously, you're going to use a different name. If you're in a college town that doesn't have a professional football team, mail out the college calendar. You can order those too. When you get that email at that time, it's going to explain where to order the calendars and all of that good stuff. But the baseball season begins in April, so I like doing the calendars in March. Okay, so the 1st of March, create a task, order baseball calendars. Okay, this is extremely important, you guys, because you want to stay top of mind with people. This is marketing 101. You have to stay top of mind. There's scientific studies that have proven that you need to communicate with someone 33 times per year to stay top of mind with them. 33 times per year. The person who has the most frequency may be annoying to some people, but also it's the one that they're going to remember, whether they like you or not. If you have 1,000 people in your database and 200 of them hate you, that's okay. The other 800, they might like you and they might know who you are, and that's the important part. So order baseball calendars. That's really all you need to put in here. Put the date, March 1st. Go ahead and put March 1st. I'm going to have you create a new task. The next one's going to be order football calendars. And again, when you do this, you might want to go ahead and put in the notes to mail to your entire database. Okay? All right. And the football calendar, you're going to want to order that on July 1st. Usually it takes a couple weeks to get them back. That would mean you'll get them July 15th. And then on July 15th, you'll mail them out, and they'll have them by the beginning of August at the latest. The football season doesn't start until preseason starts beginning to middle of August. Okay? So again, to recap, we have postcard, 1st of the month, 2 emails a month, one on the 1st and one on the 15th, Broncos calendar, Rockies calendar, assuming you're in Denver. If you're in another market, whatever the baseball and football teams are. The 1st of the year, you're going to mail out a calendar for the year. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. You're just going to send them a magnetic calendar so that they can keep track of the days. I don't care if you send them a big calendar they can hang on the wall or something small. That's your decision. New task. We're going to do this on December 1st. You're going to want to get them ordered ahead of time so you can get them out and have them in the mail so they receive them before the 1st of the year. So order your yearly calendar or whatever you want to call it. And then put December 1st and go ahead and save that task. The next one is holiday cards. Okay, I actually mail out holiday cards to my entire database as well. I'm going to put in the notes area, put send out cards, okay? .com, sendoutcards.com. You can go in there and create a card, upload a database of addresses, and it will mail out that card in an envelope to every single person in that list, okay? It's not cheap. It's about, I think it's $1.50 a card. That includes postage. When you think about it, it's not that bad. You know, if you have 1,000 people in your database who have addresses, that's going to cost you about $1,500. But this is a business. If you have 1,000 people in your database and you're working it right, you're going to have more than $1,500 to spend. I'll tell you that right now. Anyway, so mail holiday cards. Guys, a little word of advice for you. I don't care what religion you are. You know, we all have our own beliefs. I would strongly advise not mailing out Christmas cards because, believe it or not, there are actually people in this country that aren't Christians, and you might offend somebody. So just mail out a holiday card. Everybody will appreciate that gesture. Happy holidays, blah, 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 blah. If you are a diehard Christian and you want to mail out Christmas cards and you don't care what anybody thinks, you can do that. It's your choice, but I think you're probably better off appealing to the masses in this scenario. So mail out holiday cards. You're going to want to set that reminder for around the 15th of November. If you order those on that day, everybody's going to get them around the 1st of December. So it's going to be just right after Thanksgiving and right before Christmas. You could do it on the 1st of November if you want everybody to get them before Thanksgiving. Okay, what else do we have here? Okay, you're going to call your sphere of influence quarterly, okay? So, and again, all these tasks I'm showing you, as you approach these and do these, you're going to set a reminder for the following year to do them, okay? Except for the postcards and emails, you're doing those once a month. So the next thing, you're going to call your sphere of influence. Okay, if I can spell. All right, so you're going to call a sphere of influence. You're going to do that quarterly. So if you're new in real estate, I want you to, give yourself a little leeway here. Go ahead and put the first of the following month. So today we're on October 12th. Today's October 12th. We're going to put November 1st. Go ahead and call it to them on November 1st after you have everything situated. You can go ahead and call it to them today if you want. You're going to come to this task on November 1st. You're going to postpone that for 3 months after you do it. So you're doing this on November 1st. You're calling through all these people. December, January, February. February 1st, you're going to do it again. Okay? So after you complete this task, you're going to set a reminder for 3 months later to go ahead and do it again. All right? You're going to call your sphere of influence quarterly. Okay? I think I've got everything. Oh, there's one other thing. The seller mass email marketing. You're going to call those people once a year. Right now, you don't have anybody in that list because you're a new agent. So what I would want you to do is go ahead and just put a new task for a year from today for your seller mass email marketing calls. Again, these are people that have told you, well, I'm not looking to move in the next 2 years. So you don't want to be calling them all the time. Just call through them once a year. They're just going to get emails from you. You're not going to send them anything in the mail. You're just going to send them emails. All right? I have a friend in Washington. He's an agent, and he says, and it cracks me up when I hear him say it. He's like, we call them touches when we market to people, and he says we're going to give them more touches than a Michael Jackson video, and I always think that's funny. So actually, under this video, you're going to have a link. Whoops, this is not the right one. Let me find it. Under this video, you're going to have a link, and if I can find it here. If you click on it, it's going to show
Welcome to Crocker Realty. Thanks for...
It's going to show you all the ways that we market to people. So if you click on this marketing task list, it's going to open this document. You can download this too. I would recommend as a new agent downloading this so you don't forget. So we got monthly... If you look at the title, check it out. More touches than a Michael Jackson video. All right, so monthly postcards. It says who to mail them to. Video emails. You don't have to do video emails. In fact... I teach you how to create a blog and drive traffic to that blog using video emails. Yeah, you're going to want to send those out sometimes, but honestly, I've learned that text emails, hey, how's it going? Is there anything I can do for you? Something that simple gets a lot more response than something that looks like a piece of marketing material. Listen, think about yourself. You open up your email, you get a piece of marketing material. Trash, unsubscribe, trash, unsubscribe. You don't care about that. But if you get an email from me that says, hey, Bill, how's it going? I just wanted to check in and see how everything was going. Is there anything I can do for you? You're going to get a lot more response from a simple email like that than you will these crazy newsletters and things like that people send out. I do like to send out the video emails once in a while, and the reason for that is because I can drive them to my blog. Let me just show you guys what that looks like real quick, and I do teach you how to do this. This is free. It doesn't cost anything to set this up. So this is my blog, okay? And you can create these too. You can make videos and put them on there. But honestly, I get more response from a simple text email than any other thing, and it'll take you a lot less time to create it too. You can create a text email. Hey, how's it going? Is there anything I can do for you? How's everything going with your house on whatever street? Blah, blah, blah. You can create that and send it out to your entire database. It'll take you less than 15 minutes. Okay? So I don't want to get too off topic here. Let's go back to that Michael Jackson checklist. So you got video, emails, holiday card, birthday card. Yes, so you're always going to want to send out birthday cards to everybody. In Follow Up Boss, if you go to the left here and click calendar, any birthdays that you've entered in as you've put people in your database, it's going to show up on this calendar. So like at the beginning of each month, it'll actually show all of your tasks and everything too. So it gets kind of crazy. But at the beginning of each month, if you look here, you'll see everybody's birthday. Like this is only for a few days. There's so many activities on these days that it's kind of convoluted. You can create new categories as well. So I'll let you guys deal with that. You guys can figure it out. I don't want to spend too much time on this video going over every single little detail. So we got the magnetic baseball calendars, football calendars, quarterly phone calls, monthly calls to all buyer leads. That's one I left out. So your buyer leads that you have gotten a hold of or that you haven't been able to get a hold of, you're going to call through those people once a month. So go ahead and create a task for that. And again, you're just going to postpone that task for the following month so you can make sure that you're doing it every single month. So new tasks, call buyer leads. Call entire list of buyer leads, okay? And always try to friend everybody on Facebook, you guys, Twitter and LinkedIn. Make sure you put videos on Facebook sometimes. Make sure you put pictures on Facebook sometimes of your new listings. Make sure you put your phone number on there. Hey, we just took a new listing in Golden. If you know anybody looking to move to Golden, or if you know anybody looking to buy or sell their house, give me a call. Put your phone number there, okay? So those are the list of marketing activities. You should have all those in there. If you don't, just go back, and if you weren't doing it as I went through it, go back to under this video. Oh my God. I want to get this blue off here. How do I get the blue off here? Just refresh it. Maybe that'll work. Go back and look at this. You can use this as a guideline, enter all that stuff in there if you want to. So under this video, you have this list, and then you have the list of what your different contact groups are. Okay. We're just about through this, you guys. I wanted to cover the database and all that. And this is going to be, out of all the training videos I've created, this is going to be the most time consuming because you have to enter all your contacts into your database. You have to figure out how to use the database. It's going to take you some time. But once you understand all of this, it is going to dramatically give you a dramatic advantage over other agents that aren't willing to do this or that don't take the time for the upfront setup. It's going to make a big difference, okay? So, I'm just looking at a list here. I want to make sure I'm not leaving anything out. So the next thing that you're going to want to do is business cards. You are going to want to create a business card. Before you create a business card, you need to get photos done. If you are in Denver, I know a cheap photographer. His name is Charlie O. Charlie, like Charlie Brown, O, as in the letter O. Charlie O Photography. If you do a Google search for that person's name, you'll be able to get a hold of him. He's just got a little studio in his basement. He'll charge like $50. He'll take some headshots. Pretty easy. Not the highest quality as far as like background and all of that. It's just plain white or black background. But if you want some cheap photography, he's a good option. Don't take them with your cell phone. You don't for your business card. Don't take pictures with your cell phone. Make sure you have a professional photographer take your photo. Once you have the photo done, then you're going to create the business card unless you don't want your photo on your business card. I personally think it's a good idea. I put my photo on everything. My yard sign, my business card, my postcard. I used to think that it was kind of obnoxious that realtors and business people put their face on things. But the reality is this business is a relationship-based business. And I think it's important to put your face on your cards. Now, if you're really, really ugly... you might even that might work in your favor. People won't remember that. Won't forget your face. But if you're really ugly, you don't have to put your face on anything if you don't want to. But anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. Let's talk about how to order business cards. So if you go into Paperless Pipeline and go to the reference documents area and do a quick search and just type in business cards. Okay, it's going to be in the logos and templates category. Actually, just do business card. Leave the S off of that. There we go. So we got all these results here. There are two types of business cards I recommend using. If you're just getting started, just use one. And if you're going to use one, I recommend using the magnetic option. They are a little bit more expensive, but they're so worth it. So the magnetic business cards are cards you're going to want to give to people that when you mail out a thank you card or you meet with them at their house or something like that, you want that card to get stuck on their refrigerator. The magnetic business cards, the magnetic business cards are very flimsy, and they're not so good for wallets and things like that. So I don't like giving them to people in person. I typically just like mailing magnetic business cards out to a person in a thank you card so they can stick it on their fridge. If I get someone that says they're looking to sell their house in 6 months, I'm going to send them a little thank you card. Hey, it was great speaking with you. I look forward to earning your business and talking to you about how I can help you get as much money as possible for your home when the time is right for you. Business card is included in there. Or if I meet with them in person. So if I'm giving out cards to people for a referral, maybe I'm asking for referrals. Hey, if you know anybody looking to buy or sell a house, give them my card. I might hand them 3 or 4 cards. Or if I'm at, out in public somewhere and I meet with somebody that's in the market, I give them a different type of business card. I just give them a regular card so that it has, a longer shelf life in their wallet. It's not going to get all torn up. So there's 2 different cards. You have the magnetic business card and the referral business card. The referral business card is just a nice, nice card stock. It's just normal paper. The magnetic business card is obviously a magnetic business card. The magnetic business card only has a front. It doesn't have a back because the back is a magnet. These are PDF examples. So if I click on one of these, you'll be able to see what it looks like. Okay, this is the PDF. Pretty simple. You'll be able to swap out your information. I'll show you how to do that here in a second. The referral business card, again, this is a PDF, and it's going to show you the front. This is the front of it. And this is the referral business card back. This is what the back of the referral card looks like. Again, the magnet doesn't have a back to it. Okay, I recommend getting the magnets if you're not going to order both sets of these. Okay, so I use Microsoft Publisher. The reason I've put these PDF examples in here is if you don't have Microsoft Publisher, you can give these to a designer and have them design a postcard with your face on there. If you do have Microsoft Publisher, then keep watching because I'll show you how to go ahead and modify this yourself. So there's the business card magnet template and the referral business card template. I'm just going to go through the magnet. The other one is the same process. Actually, I take that back. I'm going to go through the referral business card. So the referral business card template, this is a Microsoft Publisher file, and you can modify it. If you don't have Microsoft Publisher, I recommend getting it. Microsoft Office is $10 a month. And it includes Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Publisher, Microsoft Excel. It's a great system. For $10 a month, you can't beat what these things do. You must have a PC to use Microsoft Publisher. If you order Microsoft Office, it does work on a Mac, but Publisher does not work on a Mac. Only the other programs do. Publisher will only work on a PC, so you need to have a PC to use this. Anyway, assuming you've done that, if you go ahead and download that, it'll download it for you. You'll just click on this and it's going to automatically open it up in Publisher. Just give it a second to load here. I'm recording my screen, so it kind of slows down my computer a little bit when I'm using that piece of software. I don't care what kind of business cards you guys order. You guys can do whatever you want with this. But if you're not going to use my template, all you need to make sure is that you have the company logo on it. You do not have to have the address. You do not have to have any logo like equal housing logos on your business cards. You do need to have them if you're advertising a listing, but you don't need to have them on your business cards. Okay. One thing that you could add to this, you could put associate broker or something like that. I don't put it on mine. You can do whatever you want. Just make sure that you have this logo on there. Okay. Now, if you're going to modify this card, it's real simple. We'll just open it up. You're going to click here. Just backspace it. Write your name. Bill Johnson or whatever your name is. Okay. Put your email address. If you don't have a website, you're welcome to put Crocker Realty on there. Those leads will go to me if someone signs up on the website. But if you don't have a website, You can either leave this blank and put maybe put I don't know, whatever else you want. The office address or associate broker or whatever you want. So swap out your info as you see fit. The face here, this is the important part. So you're going to need to have a professional photo done first. If you're going to use your face on your card, you need to have a silhouette cut. So this face doesn't have any background. It's been cut out, okay? It looks like there's a white background, but there's not. You see if I drag it over here, there is no white background. It turns blue. This is clear around my face. It's been cut out. You're going to need to do this. You could try to do it yourself. I would recommend not doing that unless you want to spend 3 or 4 hours trying to figure it out. Real simple solution, $5, okay? I'm going to show you guys how to do this. Go to www.fiverr. It's FIVERR.com. So if you look in my browser here as I type it in, you can see it. So it's the number 5 with 2 R's at the end. Once you get to Fiverr, you are going to go to graphics and design. You're just going to hover over that and you're going to go to Photoshop editing, which is right here. Okay. And I'll show you who I use for mine. It is, this person does a lot of photoshopping, so they usually are near the top of the list. Probably just about anybody can do this for you, to be quite honest. It's very simple to do. Where did she go? They might have changed she might have changed her cover photo. Anyway, there's a lot of them. Like here's one right here. Okay, $5. Look at their ratings. Just pick somebody with a good rating. What this is this photo here that they're showing. At one point had a background in it, and they were able to remove that background out of there. So all that is there is just her. Okay, so $5. You upload the thing. They get it back to you. Usually they get it back very quickly. So this is a really good way to get that silhouette. Once you've gotten the silhouette, just go back to your publisher file and drag it on there. So you drag your face on there, change the contact info out, you're good to go. Now, you got to export this out of Microsoft Publisher, and you have to export it as a PDF file. If you're not computer savvy, I'm sorry. It's just, there's some technology you're going to have to learn. But make sure this is all lined up right. It's all good to go. Make sure that it just looks good. See, like over here, it's cut off. But anyway, you're going to have to export the front and back separately, okay? So right now we have the front. What you got to do is, number one, you're going to want to click this back part and go ahead and modify that. So you're going to want to delete this out. I recommend, if you're just getting started in real estate, name yourself as a team. The Bill Johnson team, or the Bill and Mary Johnson team, or whatever you want to call yourself. Create a logo for it. Pay a designer to create a logo for you. If you don't want to do that, just go ahead and drag this Crocker Realty logo right over to the middle. So you have it there. If you don't want to do it, if you do want to get a team name, I would leave it like this and just substitute this with your team name. Make sure you change the phone number and put your phone number on there. 720 awesome. Okay, right? Because we are all awesome here at Crocker Realty. All right. Once you've done the back and the front, you're going to export them. So you need to do them separately. So what you're going to do, just trust me on this. You're going to delete this one. So you're going to right click. You're going to click delete. Okay. And it'll ask you to confirm. Now, File, you're going to go up to File. You're going to go to Export. You're going to go to Create PDF XPS Document. You're going to click on that over here in this box. Okay, and then you're going to go down here to Options. Don't forget to do this. This is extremely important. You're going to leave this how it is. You're going to go to Print Options down here at the bottom. Okay, and you're going to change this size to custom. Always change it to custom. Don't ask why, just trust me. Just change it to custom. Click OK. Click OK again to close that out. And then name it whatever you want. Save it as a PDF and then publish. And it's going to save it wherever you have designated here. So maybe front of card, front of referral business card. I call it referral business card instead of magnetic business card because this is the card we hand out when we ask for referrals. Or we meet somebody out in public, okay? The magnetic business card is usually only sent in the mail. So publish it, and then you're good, okay? Now, after you've done that, go back, and then you're going to go up to this little arrow here and undo. That was you just deleted the back of it. You're going to undo that. Now it's going to bring it back up. You see it? It's there again. Now you're going to delete the front. There's probably a better way to do this if you're familiar with Publisher, but this is the way that I do it. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to export the back separately. So File, Export, you're going to export the back. Okay? If you didn't see how to do that, just rewind this video and you can watch it again. So once you've exported these front and back out as PDF, and in the magnetic business card, all you're going to have is the front, so you're just going to have to do it one time. Then you're going to go, if you're ordering your cards, I recommend going to uprint.com. I think it's uprinting actually with the ing at the end. Okay, so you go to uprinting.com and go to, just do a search for magnetic business cards if you're doing the magnets. And by the way, with what we just did, we just exported the front and back of the card. You can use the front for the magnetic business cards and then the front and back for the other card if you're going to do both. So you don't have to go through and edit the magnetic business card template. You've pretty much already done it. They look the same. So magnetic business cards, there may not be anything that comes up under that search. Let me try again. I'm just going to go over here to business cards. Just click on the side here. And it should be on this list somewhere. Okay, I'm kind of concerned now. It's not showing up. Let me just do magnetic. It's possible they could have stopped doing the magnetic business cards. That would be interesting if they didn't do it anymore. Okay, guys, what you need to look for is magnets. So just do a search up here for magnets. I was doing magnetic. Do magnets now, so you're going to get business card magnets, okay? Give it a second to load up. Okay, you're going to do 2 by 3.5. You're going to leave this alone. There's not even an option to change. You're going to order however many ever you want. I recommend when you first start, maybe you order, I don't know, 500. If you're taking this business seriously, you're going to use 500. If you think you might lollygag it in real estate, order 50. But 500 is better. The more you order, the cheaper they are. For 500 of them, it's $58. Okay, 10 cents a piece. They're pretty cheap. Okay. 6 business days. That's about how long it takes to get them. You can upload your file. This is where you'll upload your file that you just created. And you just go through the process. It's pretty self-explanatory. Your regular business cards, your referral, same thing. You just click on business cards. It's going to give you a few options here. You might just do the standard business cards. Print them and go through the process. I'll let you guys figure this part out. One other thing that you're going to want to order, we're almost through this video, you guys. One other thing that you're going to want to order is note cards. Note cards are just thank you cards that you write on and send out to people, and you include your magnetic business card with. Michaels is the best place to order these. If you go to the store in person, a lot of times they have really good deals on these. I don't recommend creating thank you cards with your branding on them. I recommend using cards that have some sort of picture on the front or something like that, because you don't want it to look like a piece of marketing material. You want it to look like a genuine thank you card. And if it's got your logo on there, it just looks like another marketing piece. When you send a thank you card, you want it to be more personal. And also use blue ink. Trust me, just use blue ink. And on the envelope too, use blue ink. Okay. I also recommend creating some return address stamps or labels so that you don't have to go write that every single time. So if you go into Michaels, type in note cards, should come up with some results. Or thank you cards may be another thing to search for. Let me try thank you. Thank you cards is probably what we need. There we go. 43 results. So there's going to be a lot of options to order thank you cards off of their website. Again, I would recommend going to the store and looking for them at the store. And I don't like the ones that say thank you on the front, but I'll leave that up to you. That's your personal choice. You can see that all of these say thank you. There are cards that don't, like the ones that I have right now just have these cool, interesting little designs on the front. There may be another area in here where you can find the cards that I'm talking about. I'm not going to go into detail. I'll let you guys do your due diligence on it because I don't even know how to find them. But I would recommend going to the store. You can find some cool ones in the store, and when you go, if you find a good deal, buy as many as you can, because sometimes they can be a little more expensive than other times. Okay, so this is going to get you started. you got a lot of work to do after this video. Out of all the videos, this is the most complicated one. It's going to take you a lot more time. There's one more thing I want to show you real quick. If you are an agent that has come from a different brokerage or you've been using a different database management system, again, you're welcome to continue to use your own. It's your decision. If you're not if you want to switch over from your current database to a new one, this is how you're going to need to import your contacts. So up here in the upper right hand corner, after you create your LionDesk account, you're going to go to Profile, and it's going to open up a new window, and this is where you would import your contacts. It'll allow you to import an Excel CSV file. Make sure it's in a CSV format when you save your Excel spreadsheet, otherwise it's not going to work. Also, make sure that you don't have a ton of information on that spreadsheet. You want their first name, last name, phone number, email addresses, home address, on all that stuff. But if there's a bunch of other crap on there, make sure you delete it off. Otherwise, it's going to cause you headaches when you go to import. And if you are exporting your contacts out, so for example, let's say that you're doing your monthly mailing, you wouldn't want to do it from this area. This would export every single contact you have out. So if you ever decide that you want to switch databases for whatever reason, this is how you can export your entire contact list. If you're going to do like your monthly mailing, if you just go to Contacts, again, we're only going to mail to sellers, right? I just want to show you guys how to do this real quick. You can always come back to this video and look at it. You only want to mail to your sellers, so you're going to go to Contact List. You're just going to check next to these boxes, A Group Homeowners, B Group Homeowners. Seller leads. Don't want to mail to the seller mass email marketing. And I actually did combine my seller nurture with my homeowners. Anyway, you're going to want to mail to all of your homeowners, right? So I've just checked those. You're going to go to Apply Filters, and then in your list here, the only thing that's going to show up in your list down here after this thing is done is the people who fall into those categories in those lists. And that's why you create the list. That's part of it. Click here. It's going to select all of them. You're going to go Bulk Actions, and you're going to go to Export, and you're going to select all 547. And it'll export them all out. What it's going to do is it's going to send you an email. In your email, it'll be a link to a CSV file, okay? And then you can create mailings from that. I'm not going to go into detail on how to do that because I send out a video each month that explains that. So guys, this will get you started. This video has been about 1 hour and 15 minutes. You need to set up your database, create all of your contact lists, all of your tags, order business cards, get your photos taken, order thank you cards, learn how to use this database system to some degree. And the next video is going to cover some of our follow-up systems, which I briefly touched on in this video. Don't get into like looking into LionDesk and figuring it out on your own until you watch some of the other videos, because you're going to learn some things from watching some of the future videos, okay? So this will be good enough to get you started and get these activities done before you go to video number 2. Don't go to video number 2 until you've completed these tasks. Obviously, the photo and the business card may take some time, but setting up your database you can do right now. So do that before you go to the next video. All right? Talk to you soon.